Intervistiamo Bob Young, fondatore di Lulu.com, che ci parla del suo passato in Red Hat qui a SMAO Milano. So our readers are very curious about your opinion on GPL v3.
Well, as anyone who has followed my career in open source and with Red Hat knows, I'm a huge fan of the Free Software Foundations and their GNU public license. The GPL3 is the latest incarnation of the license, and it's designed to try and address some of the issues that have been coming up as Linux and other open source tools have become increasingly popular. There has been some concern that the original GPL didn't address the integration between commercial software or proprietary software and open source software, or as Richard Stallman would have it, free software properly. GPL3 is another attempt to do that. I know it's controversial. I don't actually worry about it very much. They point to the GPL, and what most people don't seem to recognize is most of us don't read licenses. What we do is we just trust that if we choose a license, that license allows us to do what we want to do. And the benefit of the GPL is it is a standard. You know, if you're using some software that is GPL'd, you know what you are allowed and are not allowed to do with it. And the beauty, of course, of the GPL, it's very much like the signs behind me. Most of our society works collaboratively. We do so not out of some idealistic reason, but because that's how our society works. Whether it's our law, whether it's our street signs, whether it's the roads we drive on, we all build these things for all of us to use because our society operates more efficiently if we can all use open standards, if we can all rely on trusting each other to use the same standard. Interesting enough, it's only in the software industry where you have these very rigid proprietary license that stop people from using public standards, or that cause people to want to pay for, or force people to pay to use a standard. Microsoft Word, .doc standard. You know, in order to use Microsoft Word, you have to pay Microsoft, despite the fact that you would think a standard letter form or a file form should be an open standard. So I'm a big fan of the GPL3. Whether it's GPL2, 3, 4, 10, most of us will never read it, and it will continue to serve the function it needs to, which is to define an open standard in software publishing that is very important.
Thanks, Bob. What is your desktop environment?
Well, I cannot tell a lie. I am, in fact, an Apple Macintosh user. One of the phenomena that is not all that well known is I'm not a technician. Yes, I did take a couple of programming courses back when I was a kid in university, when we used to program on punch cards, IBM punch cards. But I've been a salesman all my life. I think of myself to this very day as a typewriter salesman. So not being a technician and not working for Red Hat, I no longer have a whole team of software engineers keeping my desktop working. Having said that, I couldn't go over to the dark side. So I am not a PC user. I am, in fact, a Macintosh user. But having said that, at Lulu, all of our servers, all of our engineering is done on open source code. When you use Lulu.com, you are using nothing but open source software to publish your book. And that's the area that open source software has been massively successful in, is open source software runs the internet, and don't let anyone tell you anything different.
What about licenses on Lulu.com? What are the main licenses used?
The main licenses is whatever the default copyright license are in your market. So in Italy, we use the Italian, most content on Lulu is automatically published under the Italian copyright license. That's the way copyright licenses work. Having said that, Lulu has made a specific initiative to work with the Creative Commons on their much more liberal content licensing rules that the Creative Commons works with. So we have a variety of the Creative Commons licenses available to our authors to select if they want a more liberal license around their content than the standard default copyright licenses wherever they happen to live.
Our last question is, what's your dream business? Something you never still could not get to realize?
That's a good question. I don't know where you are. Red Hat was actually my fourth business. My first two businesses were in the computer rental and leasing business, an outfit called Hamilton Computer, and then a Canadian one called Vernon Computer Rentals. Then I stumbled into the Red Hat opportunity, and now we're working on Lulu. And I've had many people ask me, okay, so once Lulu's big and successful, what do you do next? I have no idea. I'm working hard enough trying to make Lulu big and successful.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you very much.